Mobius Motors, Group 5. Today, we're going to talk to you about a couple different things. First, we're going to start with building a Mobius. We're going to go into the industry analysis, followed up by expansion opportunities and expansion strategies, finally concluding with implementation. Mobius Motors, building an African car. Founded in 2011 by Joel Jackson. This vehicle is made for Africans in Africa. Now, there are some import obstacles, this resulting in high duties. Now, that does challenge the company. Also, there's a big lack of infrastructure in Africa that makes it very difficult for traditional cars to run on their streets. The design. Mobius Motors designed this car with the Kenyan consumer in mind. It's a simplified design. There's no unnecessary amenities in this car. Okay, its most important thing is, can it handle the rugged terrain that it's going to be challenged with? Is a visual of the Mobius 2. As you can see, it looks very similar to a Jeep. Very rugged, terrain-looking vehicle suited for the open desert. Strategy and competitive advantage. The strategy is simple here. It's a reliable car for reliable transportation for an underdeveloped country. Its competitive advantage is that it eliminates import costs. There will be brand loyalty since it's a home brand for Africans in Kenya. And it's built for the specialty terrain that these Kenyans have to deal with every day.
Now we're going to go over Porter's 5 forces: the degree of rivalry, the threat of new entrants, the threat of substitutes, bargaining power of buyers, and bargaining power of suppliers. Now we're going to discuss the bargaining power of suppliers. Suppliers have little influence on the industry. They are in need of Mobius contracts, and that keeps them loyal to the company. And then the bargaining power of buyers. Not many consumers can afford a Mobius SUV in Africa. About 2 million of the population in Kenya are in the market to buy it. But the Mobius needs to be priced aggressively and affordable to sell in Kenya. Let's talk about the rivalry among competitors. Toyota has attempted to enter the market, but the car didn't meet the demands of the people or the land. Many companies can challenge Mobius if they see the opportunity in the market, and their rivals aren't really set in stone right now.
Let's talk about a couple opportunities for expansion. Now, we can go into the government contract sector, hopefully getting big government contracts for a large supply of vehicles. Following that up, a very unique idea is to create a ride-sharing service. Now, I know what you're thinking, Uber. No, what we want to do is partner with our customers to give them a way to return financing back to us, make good on their debts. Now, this service, the biggest obstacle we think of today could be uncertain demand. More expansion opportunities range from military to partners with logistical companies. Now, what I mean by military is, if Mobius Motors is able to get plants up and running that can outfit their vehicles with military defense units, this could be a new arena that they could break into. Now, partnering with logistic companies could go and work very well if they're able to partner with companies like UPS and FedEx to use their vehicles in the Kenyan region.
Now we're going to talk about our strategy for expansion. First, we're going to start with our ride-sharing service. In countries such as Kenya, India, China, and Indonesia, they lack motor vehicles compared to their population, so most people rely on taxi services. But these minivan taxi services require a large purchase price of the taxi and only offer fixed routes rather than point-to-point destinations. Also, these minivans usually cram people in, which is a high safety concern. Next for our strategy, we're going to go after military and government contracts. In securing these contracts, these will provide long-term vehicle orders and earn Mobius a large market share of vehicles in underdeveloped countries. Overcoming these contract obstacles will require bids for contracts already in place or for future contracts. And an increase in demand for Mobius Motors will attract investors to fund these large volume orders of these contracts. In further discussing our expansion strategy, we're going to talk about Mobius's new competitive advantage. Vehicle cost and functionality are going to be Mobius's two biggest competitive advantages. With price being the largest determinant of purchasing a vehicle, Mobius will attract customers who previously settled for minivans, motorcycles, or rickshaws. Financing will provide lower income families with the opportunity of point-to-point self-transportation. Mobius vehicles will be fit for the terrain and infrastructure already in place in Africa. Vehicles built in country will make replacement parts more accessible while avoiding import duties, which also lowers costs. The functionality of the vehicle will make it suitable for all terrains and various uses such as military transport, transporting goods, and transporting medical tools. Now we'll discuss how this strategy falls in line with the previous strategy set forth by Mobius. This new strategy is in line with the base mission of Mobius, which is to provide affordable transportation that is durable in all terrains. Only 7% of Africa is paved with roads, so it is essential that the vehicle performs and holds durable under urban and, more importantly, rural terrains. As Mobius Motors scales, it will be able to lower its manufacturing costs even more while providing jobs to millions of Africans. From providing jobs to these Africans, their spending power will increase over time and make it more accessible for Africans to purchase a vehicle of their own.
Continuing on, we'll talk about what concrete steps need to be taken in order to realize the potential growth opportunities that we have at hand. The first one is government and military contracting. There's a huge opportunity with government and military contracting, whether it's supplying any vehicles to the government or weaponized vehicles and such. After bidding for a contract, it would be much easier to acquire funding because it's proof that you're going to have future revenue. So it's a lot easier to acquire capital from outside and get better terms on that investment. Use the capital to get facilities and infrastructure to begin vertically integrating. Domestic production creates strong sense of brand recognition, which will make it more difficult for competition to compete against our company as a first mover. It'll also create a lot more jobs and stimulate the local economy. It's in line with the mission statement that has a strong sense of community and brand. Then we use bargaining power of the contract to lower costs and parts and raw materials. Continue to expand internationally since it's an attractive option for less wealthy countries that are looking to buy vehicles, other third world countries, and they're looking for options for the vehicles out there, but they can't afford them. So it'll be there's a huge market for it. Here's some statistics on the military spending of some East African countries. Kenya is one of several countries in Eastern Africa. The African continent averaged only 2.6% of global government spending on military, primarily due to lack of funding. So the focus on military sales within the continent, being that it is a low-cost vehicle, would be very helpful. It would provide a low-cost option for nearby countries that do not have the funding to purchase other international vehicles that are at a much higher price. Another growth opportunity that Mobius has is through logistics partnering. They could develop a partnering program that allows Mobius owners to subcontract to local logistics companies. This would increase efficiency by allowing members of the community to make deliveries to other members of their own community. And we can use this to increase brand recognition, also to create brand loyalty by providing work opportunities to locals. Similarly, it will also increase efficiency and decrease costs that help allow local economies to grow.
How you doing? I'm back with a final recommendation. Ultimately, my team and I think this is the best option for Mobius Motors. We think working with the Kenyan government to build a plant and provide jobs that stimulate the economy is not only good for our business, but good for politics. Those are two great platform points. Ultimately, going off of that, we think that finding a way to bring financing in-house for these Kenyan people and giving them an opportunity to pay us back through this rideshare platform can multiply our business. Now, we really think what could be great is expanding into other African markets surrounding Kenya and multiplying our effect. That's it. That's all we have from Mobius Motors here today. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And LJ, good night.